Hello everybody, Sean here. Sorry for the amateurish style of this video, but this portion of the video at least is just going to be like unedited, raw, well, with the exception of the black and white tint. Aside from that, nothing else is going to be edited out. Every pause and every every R is going to be left in, so yeah, the first portion of this video is going to look quite amateurish, but there is a good reason for it, and I'll reveal as things go along, because I can't just suddenly like come out and just puke it out to you. I just have to sort of like build up to it first. First and foremost, I never thought I'd have to make a video like this. I never thought I'd even like think this certain way or have feelings of this certain way. But about a year or so ago, about 2 years ago, my life, I was just feeling like my life just wasn't going anywhere, you know. At first I thought I had everything all figured out, but as, I don't know, time progressed, I slowly realized I hadn't figured it out. Sorry. Like I said, I'm sorry. I'm pausing too long. I know I should be saying stuff, but yeah. God, this is hard. As time progressed, you know, when you're stuck with these feelings of like constant failure, just like one thing is like fucking up after another. Your family start looking down at you. You got no friends to turn to. And like I said, your family starts to think negatively of you and all that shit. And you just start to see the world for a biggest bunch of shit that it is. I don't know. You just can't think certain thoughts. Like eventually, like I don't know. Like exposure to constant negativity can really, what's the word? Fuck with your composure, if you say. Can really mess with your mind. Can make you think morbid thoughts, and eventually lead to the ultimate morbid thought, right? Eventually, the negativity in my head got to the point where in 2018, gosh, this is harder than I thought. But the first step is saying it. That's always the main thing. Back in 2018, I was suicidal. There it was, I said it. I was suicidal. Sorry. Not sure if I knocked the microphone up there. Alright, good. But yeah, as I said, back in 2018, I had feelings of suicide. It's how bad my life got. Like I was hoping to go into more detail than this, but I don't know, I really am struggling. This video was a lot harder than I thought. It's like I don't know. It's like when things don't go your way. Like when you feel as if your family's neglected you and you got no friends to turn to. You know, it does fuck with you after a while. It truly does. And you think you can ride through it, and you think you're on top of things, but I don't know. The negative feelings, just like with no positive reinforcements, the negativity just sort of like just takes over and takes over and takes over, and it just eats away at you. You know what I mean? So yeah, back in as I said, back in 2018, I seriously contemplated suicide. I think it was round about, I don't know, maybe June of 2018, where I truly began contemplating it. I began laying out all my options for how I wanted to go. Obviously, I'm not gonna go through them, like what my options of how I was gonna kill myself. I'm not gonna run through the options because I don't want to be seen as like assisting a suicide or condoning suicide in any way, because I don't, not anymore at least. But yeah, I spent the best part, around about June time, I spent the best part of about 6 months. Hold on. Excuse me, we just had Mackie D's earlier, I'm sorry. Alright, I can just see Jacob laughing behind the camera. But yeah. Back in June, that's when I began contemplating ending my own life and going through the options. My first option was out, because it just seemed way too grim, way too gruesome. Option number 2 was impossible due to legal reasons. Option number 3, again, was equally as gruesome as option 1. And option 4 was an even bigger no-no because of what my grandma said about this particular thing, like a good few years ago, like when I was a kid, and I didn't want that to happen to me. So I got stuck with my final option, and obviously I'll say one of my options because the next shot, like where we're gonna cut to next, it's obviously going to be a big reveal and dead giveaway of what it was, so I might as well just flat out say it. Excuse me, be right back, I'll go get something. Hold on, peeps. So can you still hear me? Yeah. Okay, you guys can still hear me, good. So yeah, my last option was this. Yes, you could probably, I don't need to say it. It's a rope. This is a video discussing suicide. We all know what this is for. This harmless looking bit of rope was going to be my instrument of destruction at one point. The instrument of my doom. I know some of you are probably looking around. No, actually, I better not say that. But yeah, what used to be a skipping rope back in the day. What used to be a skipping rope back in the day was going to be my instrument of destruction. This was what was going to kill me. One of the many reasons I didn't go through with it at the time. In fact, there was about 3 reasons I didn't want to go through with it at the time. But I was adamant I was going to go through with it at the time, at least. Sorry, I keep saying at the time. Well, I'm now being a bit repetitive, but this is an unscripted video, and I'm no good at unscripted videos because I wanted it to be raw, you see. Yeah. The only thing that really hindered me back at the time, and I thank my lucky stars, was that I couldn't find a correct spot. I couldn't find a correct spot somewhere back in my hometown, and that kind of saved my ass. And of course, I spent all this time looking for spots to actually do it, but I spent so long looking that Christmas had rolled around, and of course, I didn't want to do it so close to Christmas because I had some sense of fairness left in me, and I just didn't want to do it so close to Christmas. I was hoping to celebrate Christmas, get out of the way first, then take this and find myself a spot to do it. But then, I don't know. Christmas came and passed. Boxing Day came and passed. I was watching, but as I was doing that, then New Year's Day came round. I was watching the New Year's celebration on telly, watching the fireworks going off. Normally I'm in a jubilous mood, but this time, because of the way I was feeling, I wasn't so jubilous at the time. I don't know, and once the fireworks were going off, a major discussion was going on up here. And I said I'd make a deal. I said I'd make a deal with myself. I'm sorry if I phrased that wrong, I apologise. I made a deal with myself on New Year's Day, just gone, whilst the fireworks were going off. I said, just one more shot. I said to him, come on, alright, I'll make you a deal. One last shot at life. One last crack at it. One more year. And if all else fails, go right ahead. And I said, okay, I'll give it another shot. And it was around about that time where I sort of began began researching online, like looking for self-help, self-improvement videos on YouTube and all that. And I got really into some YouTubers, like what's his face? I forget their names. I forget their names, but they're really good guys. You know, they really helped me like self-improve, like gave me advice on like how to better myself and all that. And slowly, I felt the urge to use this go away. And now, while the urge, and I'll confess, while the urge to do it hasn't gone away completely, it's still kind of there 100%. It's still like gone away about 95%. But that leaves the other lingering 5% remaining. And I don't believe that 5% will ever go away until I destroy this. Because I believe as long as I still remain in possession of this, you know, that I'm still like, then it just leaves me with thoughts in my mind. Then it's just there, like tempting me to revert back to the dark ways. And believe me, those times were dark. And believe me when I say those times were dark. Very dark for me. And I've now that I've somewhat bettered myself, now that I've somewhat puckered myself back up, I have a strong determination not to go back there. I do not want to go back to that dark place ever again. Because I can't really explain it to you guys, the viewers, if you haven't been there to that dark place. But it's one of the most horrible places you can ever go. It's literally the most horrible places you can be. And it's not a place I want to go back. I never ever want to go back there, ever. Yeah, as I said, and I believe another way forward for redemption, to get rid of these dark thoughts completely, is completely burn this. Just take it and chuck it in the fucking fire. And in a moment, well, we don't know how long it's going to, well, it's a moment for you, but it's going to take a long time for Jacob and me. But in the moment, we're going to cut to a shot of us, burning this and getting rid of it permanently. Because I see this, well, it looks like a harmless rope. To me, I see this as my gravestone. I see this as my tombstone with my name written all over it. And I believe once this is gone, you know, that urge will be gone completely. At least I hope so. It's worth a shot. It's always worth a shot. It's always worth a shot never to go back to that dark place. I know I keep saying dark place and that you guys don't understand, but trust me when I say it's one of these places you literally have to have been there to understand. And if you guys any of you out there watching this are in that dark place right now yourselves, please, I urge you, don't go down the route. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't do this. Don't fucking do this. In fact, if you're in that dark place right now, I urge you to call this number. It's a number for the Samaritans. That's a 1, by the way. I know it looks like an I, but it's a 1. 116 123. And it's a number for the Samaritans. If you're in that dark place, call them. Just give them a call. Again, 116 123 for the Samaritans. And again, we'll call up in a minute when the camera stopped. I'm going to call up some numbers. I'm going to copy and paste them, and when it's time, I'll ask Jacob to post them in the description.
Put them on the screen as well.
Yes. Because like I said, obviously we'd like to have put more numbers here, but as you can see, we're limited in space. So once again, 116 123 for the Samaritans. So I was hoping for a lot more to say like this. I was hoping this video would be much more in depth and in detail, but as I said, this video turned out to be much more harder than I thought. I thought it'd just come roaring out of me as soon as I get into it, but not everything's come out. So I'm guessing that's it for now. And yeah, let the burning of this rope commence. You know, 2 or 3 years ago, I thought of suicide as a coward's way out. If you got into a conversation with me about suicide back then, I would have said something along the lines of, "Oh, suicide is for sissies. All you need to do is pull yourself together and deal with it." Yeah, as you can tell, I was very narrow-minded and ignorant back then. I said it, and I said it without thinking. Said it without thinking that it will never creep up on me the way it did. And trust me, it has its way of creeping up on you. Creeping into your very psyche. Creeping, digging, worming its way into your very being like some horribly mutated, semi-humanoid serpent creature that looked like it slithered out of Chernobyl or Fukushima, undermining everything about you to the point where everything gets called into question, and the answer to those questions always ends in even more despair. Eventually you feel like you're under siege. At least, that's how I felt when it crept up on me. When I visualized it in my head, I often envisioned it as some type of military invasion. A battle to save a city from falling. Yeah, a city, that's the right word. I named it Paradise City. I envisioned it as a once pristine city that slightly resembled both Shanghai, Dubai and New York. With sunshine, clean air, and the tallest, shiniest skyscrapers in the world. A great financial hub generating the greatest wealth, the nerve center of a great empire. But as the despair kicked in, I began to see it more and more as a ruined city. Once tall skyscrapers were either missing or blown in half and covered in soot, its empire in ruins, the shine long gone, the sunny brightness clouded by a dark, intense smog that came about as a result of bombardment from the forces of despair. Explosions, fire, smoke consumed the city. And as I went about my daily life, I kept getting visions of the city getting more overrun by the forces of the darkness. The soldiers, the defenders of the city being defeated and forced into retreat on the daily, without air and artillery support to help them. Now, This was obviously an insight to what was going on in my head at the time. The despair consuming me daily. Consuming me like milkshake and making me feel more and more rotten as the days progressed. It was a horrible time. For every day that despair consumed me, the more visions in my head I had about Paradise City. The visions came to me as a breaking news story of how the forces of darkness and despair are bombing the city, advancing it even further. I envisioned it as looking like some news footage from on the ground in maybe Syria or Iraq or Libya, with a news presenter dodging missiles and narrowly avoided being blown up or gassed, with civilians running away, trying to seek whatever refuge they can, children orphaned, maimed, trapped in a state of sadness and sorrow, lost in the hopelessness of their situation. Then one day, I was out and about, walking down a country footpath. I got a vision I didn't want to see. Paradise City had fallen. I saw it as a newsflash on a TV screen that read, "Paradise City has fallen. The last major stronghold of a once great empire is no more." I knew what that meant. It meant it was time for me to start properly contemplating suicide. And as I sat in my room contemplating how I was going to end it, I saw another vision of former Imperial soldiers putting up resistance. I saw them as looking a bit like the human resistance soldiers from the Terminator movie. I should have took that as a sign of hope, but I did not. Firmly adamant that I was going to shuffle myself off on my terms. It took some time for me to comprehend how I was going to execute the plan, and before I knew it, Christmas had rolled around, and I decided to put the plans on hold until after the new year. But as the new year came about, a part of me decided to put the plans on hold. I was reluctant to do so because a huge chunk of me wanted to die. But something inside me was calling out to me, telling me to give it one last shot. Despite my pessimism, I gave it a shot. And after that, I began a journey to slowly better myself. The urge for suicide gradually depleted as I began to better myself, and I could see the happiness come back into my life. But it wasn't over yet. I started getting visions of optimism, and then they came back. The news stories. This time they brought glad tidings. This time I saw visions of the resistance kicking ass and gradually regaining control of the Paradise City. But the last time I had one of these visions, they had only just begun. I'm guessing, judging from what I'm about to do, that the resistance have taken control of Paradise City. That's comforting to know. Comforting, knowing that I'm now on the right path to righteousness. But it doesn't mean I'm out of the woods yet. I still have a long way to go. As I said, Paradise City was the nerve center of a great empire. Paradise City had been liberated, but the empire must be claimed back. And that is going to take some time and work. And it begins today. Today I build a fire to mark the beginning of the end for the dark forces that tormented me. I use this fire to destroy the one and only real-world representation of the dark forces. This rope. The rope of death. This is the only real-world representation of the disgusting Torags that tormented me. I look at it with disgust and empowerment. Disgust at what it represented, and empowerment in knowing that this is the only thing that they had. The only real thing the dark forces had at their disposal. How weak they are. How disgusting they are. How vulgar they are. And how weak they truly are.
And now I cast their one and only real weapon into the fire. And I bring out my weapon against them. Fire. With this fire, I launch my own attack against them. With this fire, I launch my onslaught. With this fire, I bomb them. With this fire, I burn their willpower. With this fire, I undermine them. With this fire, I destroy their confidence. With this fire, I take back what is mine and destroy the infestations they created. With this fire, I laugh at them. With this fire, I send them packing back into the recesses of hell. And with this fire, I mark the end of a very dark chapter in my life. No longer will these forces torment me. From now on, my life will be colourful, bountiful. Happiness will rule me once again. The strength I once had shall thrive again. Paradise City is now liberated. It now needs rebuilding along with its empire. And how do you rebuild an imaginary city and an empire that represents your psyche? Easy. By celebrating your happiness in real life. And what better way to celebrate than to do what I do best? Than to act like a total fucking retard with my best friend Jacob.
Right, now that serious shit out the way, it's time for a router destruction. First of all, PlusNet. Didn't give me much plus, but you gave me shit.
Next up, Now TV. What part of contract do you not understand? Which part of contract do you not understand? For that. Or that. You'll burn. Oh, it looks pretty from this angle. The heat will destroy it, don't worry.
The heat destroyed it.
Next up.
Talk. Talk was shit. While that's burning brightly, we're going to be destroying this with a good weapon of mine. You said you couldn't get no firmware update. Well, I've given an update. Piece of shit.
Next up is Sky.
Sky, believe in better. In fact, the other way round.
Get back here, Sky.
Give me a fucking axe. I need a bigger weapon for this.
Oh, axe coming up.
We needed to chop up firewood later, so we got this. Believe in better my arse. Next one. Or is that the last one?
That's all of them.
Oh, look at that one burning now.
Ah, here we go.
I'm knackered. I reckon YouTubers do this.
Oh, that was a good throw.
On you go.
Ah, the PlusNet one's starting to burn nicely now.
And that T-bone's in a bit of trouble. I'll get a heart attack. Oh yeah. So the odds.
This fire looks simply pretty tonight, then, doesn't it, ladies and gentlemen? Oh wait. Now I'm pretty sure the fire was spread.
Oh god.
Just to be absolutely certain. Oh bloody hell, this is hot. Yeah, it's catching fire now. It's catching fire. And that, ladies and gentlemen, marks the end of an era.
The two things: crappy broadband providers, and hopefully for, you know, suicide beginnings.
Yeah.
The beginning of suicide, the end of suicide. What else do you need?
Yeah, I'm gonna move this back a bit.
This thing is more powerful than we thought. It's fine. I thought your farts were bad. Look at that, I just went poof.
You know, should we get rid of some of this trash while we're at it? We don't need half this shit. I bought way too many fucking bags. Actually, no, I don't. That's probably getting bigger than it already is. Holy shit, someone's gonna call the fire brigade in a minute. Bloody hell, it's a good fire though.
Yeah, it is. Don't worry, we've got some water on standby to put this out. But, hey, you're getting lovely warm in the summer from this. Here we are getting these things and we didn't use them. We got the axe and didn't use it either. Oh, we'll use it for self-defense later on.
That means I've got to package that shit back up.
Yeah, oh, it's going black. Global warming is here.
In fact, do you mind if I pick that up and do a few hand clap shots?
If you want.
I'll pick it up by the tripod, drop this.
Things got a woohoo! So, Now TV, what part of no contract didn't you understand? Also, Sky believing better? You couldn't even take money from me, you cunts.
I can see nice little funny colours in there, so I don't know if it's picking up on the camera or what. Oh, blimey, I've just been walking back and forth to the flat. Last thing I need is this.
There's the Sky one that you don't and destroyed. The Now TV one's getting a bit of a good go, so.
Yeah. Don't forget the GoPro as well.
Oh, the GoPro.
Now we're getting our money's worth. Combustible wood, $1.99 at Home Bargains.
I'm going to tell you.
Whoop. Still burning slightly, still burning good, folks.
I'm going to move the tripod down.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're done filming here.
What do you reckon? Do you think we destroyed them?
Yes, I think we've. Well,
what about the Now TV one? It's.
Oh well, we can't do much. It's too fucking hot now. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to stop recording here now, folks.
Yeah. Thank you very much for holding tight with this journey with us, with suicide and with the route of destruction. We did try to make it entertaining. If we didn't, then sorry. And by the way, people, don't do this at home. Do it at your friend's house.
No.
Lots of flammable material. I'm only kidding. Don't ever do this. It's fucking die. So, I don't know how we're going to do this. Oh, it stinks. Oh, the Now TV one was just getting burnt.
Whoa, carefully. Oh, God.
I'm gonna let it burn a little. Fucking hell. You know that smoking kills ad? Oh, God, it smells like church. Give me those prongs a minute. I want to put it on the fire.
Hold on, let me. It won't now, it's too watery. Well, it's smouldered slightly. Ooh, you know what that smell is? That's the smell of dead, bad internet.
So, internet providers, if you want these routers back, please write back to me. There we are. Oh, we wanted to dispose of it somehow today. Holy shit. Anyway, I thought I was ending the video.
Yes.
Not very good YouTubers, are we?
No, we're definitely going to end the video now here, folks. Before
Anyway.
someone calls the fucking fire brigade.
Anyway, I will put this out now. Although, shamefully, the Now TV one gets to live. And there we go, folks. Just to prove that we are safe. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys. No one got physically harmed except for us. Bye. Take care, everyone. Say fucking bye.
Bye. Bye. Say bye on this one.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. We're literally going to go now. I'm going to stop this now.
Bye-bye.